Hey guys, I'm Bailey Moore. I did my internship at Mercedes-Benz United States International. I am a sophomore here at Bryan College, and I'm a business major with my focuses in economics, finance, and accounting. And I'm going to give you a brief introduction to the company. MBUSI is part of the parent company Daimler AG, which is a German company who focuses on nothing but making automobiles. They have cars, or they have their hands in Mercedes, Smart, who makes smart cars, and then a bunch of other German automobile manufacturers that I've never heard of. And then you have building for the plant that I was at in Vance, Alabama, which is right outside of Tuscaloosa. Building for that was announced in April of 1993, and then construction of the $300 million building was finished in July of 1996, and they started production in January of the following year. And I chose this internship because, one, my dad works there, and he's the one who told me about it. He said Mercedes was looking for college-age business and engineering majors. And so there were a lot of kids from Auburn, a lot of kids from Alabama, and they were all engineering or supply chain. And it looked and sounded like a really good internship and a really good opportunity, and I didn't want to miss that. And so getting to spend my summer working with Mercedes was a really good opportunity, and it also will look really good on a resume. And so that's really why I picked that internship. My duties and responsibilities during the internship were the first 6 weeks. 3 of those were sitting in a classroom, learning the new system that I was going to help implement during my internship later. And the other 3 weeks were spending time on the shop floor, getting to know the guys out there, and getting to know the current system that they were using and moving away from, so that I was able to see where they were coming from and find the best way to help them implement the new system, learn the new system, and eventually be able to run more efficiently in what they do. On a weekly basis, that's what I did the first 6 weeks, and then the next 2 weeks is what the plant called shutdown. And during shutdown, the entire plant stopped. There was no production throughout the entire plant, and me and other members of the same shift were going through extra and more specialized training when it comes to the new system that we were using. And those weeks were extremely beneficial. But after those 2 weeks, the new implementation of the new system began. And so everything picked up really quick, and there wasn't a whole lot of time to adjust. It was, if we didn't know how to do our job, the line stops moving, production stops, and eventually the company starts losing a lot of money. I think the figure was they lose, I think it was about $7 million for every minute the plant or the line was down. And so I did not want to be the cause of a loss of a couple $1 million. And so during that time of the new implementation, I would sit on one of the docks, which I had my own little station, which was known as clearing. And if a part was missing a part number, or it wasn't in the right step systematically, they would bring it to me. I would look up the part number, find out where it was in the system, and then try and troubleshoot my way to make sure the system matched the physical part and where it was and where it should have been. Some of my defining moments during this internship would be my first couple weeks on the floor. Since my dad worked there, a lot of the guys on the floor knew my dad and have worked alongside him at some point. And because of that, we had that connection or that relationship in common, and we were able to get to know each other a whole lot easier, and it really opened the door for building the relationship and just being able to goof off when it was time to goof off, like at lunch or during a break. And when it came down to being serious, like we could understand each other and talk about the old system and how the new system would change things. That really helped, because without the help of those guys or the understanding by them, that internship would have been really difficult, really dull, and we probably would have cost the company a lot of money just because we didn't know how to interact with each other and talk to each other to make sure that the line could keep moving. The biggest defining moment of my internship would be within the first couple weeks of the new implementation or the go live process. A part was brought to me, and I kind of struggled my way through the 2 weeks of the specialized training during shutdown. And during those 2 weeks, I had trouble grasping the new practices that they were giving us, the new processes of how to fix things. And during go live, when I was able to finally do it on my own and solve the problem from the beginning to end and get it to work, it really boosted my self-confidence and my self-esteem and allowed me to push through the rest of the internship. And from then on, like, the problems just kind of, whenever they were brought to me, they kind of just fell into place, and I knew exactly how to resolve them, and it really helped me get through the internship. So as I said before, I am an accounting and then economics and finance major, and my internship didn't exactly relate to those, but while I was there, I was able to find out a little bit about international business and international economics and why Mercedes ships certain parts some ways and other parts differently. Some parts came pre-made, some parts came already pre-assembled. And during the internship, I was able to figure out the economics behind, what made it more beneficial to do it one way over the other. And I was able to do a little bit of independent research and find out about how much the whole implementation process and how much creating the software for Mercedes made, or how much money it took and how much money was dumped in by all these different investors. And I used prior class knowledge. I took economics in high school, and so that kind of played into learning about the international economics and just the logistics side of it. About this internship, there was a lot to like and there was a lot to dislike. First off, within the first day of orientation, so the first day of the internship, there was supposed to be a truck arriving where we would get all of our shoes and our safety belts and stuff like that. And the truck was 3 hours late. And so we sat there for 3 hours not knowing when this truck was going to show up. And we were getting paid the whole time, so that was a plus. But right off the bat, it seemed as though the internship was pretty sloppily put together. And I just didn't know how the rest of it would shape up. And as we were going through the classroom, that was another big dislike, was the fact that the company that was teaching us, or the people that were teaching us, were contracted from a different company, and they were given the presentations to teach us a week before we showed up. And that really kind of damaged the whole classroom experience. It was still beneficial, but it wasn't as beneficial as it could have been. Likes about it were the people. You meet some interesting people working in a plant like Mercedes, and you've got your characters where all they want to do is joke around. You got your people who want to do nothing but be serious, get their work done, and then you have people who want to have fun while they work. And just getting able to see all the different kind of personalities was a big like for me. I really enjoyed getting to meet the different people there. Another like were the people I worked with, all the college age students my age, and just getting to see where they came from. I worked with 2 guys from Auburn, 1 guy from Alabama, and we all just kind of just meshed together and worked really well, and we were able to solve whatever problems came our way. And I actually still talk to a couple of them to this day. And I would say my biggest like was just, I guess, the sense of kind of accomplishment that I had, being able to say, I went through the internship, I picked up all the big system like SAP, I was able to understand it and help integrate a brand new system into a company like Mercedes. In the future, I don't know if I would do an internship with Mercedes again. If the opportunity presented itself and I got to do something related to my major, I would give it serious thought. But just another internship where I go in and troubleshoot issues within the system, I don't know if I really want to do that again. Since that's not my focus and that's not really what I want to do in life, I would like to be an accountant. I would like to get to become a CPA after this, or after graduation, and I mean, a job at Mercedes would be nice, and like I said earlier, it looks good on a resume, but that's not really where I want to go in life. But overall, I really enjoyed my internship, and it was a fantastic experience. I would recommend it to others if the opportunity does come back up. But yeah, I really enjoyed my internship. I had a great summer, and thanks guys for listening.
It's a wrap.